Everybody, what's going on? Fabian for Liberty, fabianforliberty.com. So I'm sure you've witnessed and seen, or perhaps not witnessed, but you've seen the Baltimore riots. I'm going to break all of that down. Be doing another video later today, tomorrow, regarding the Iranian Navy seizing a cargo ship. And now, supposedly, reportedly, the Pentagon is sending in U.S. destroyers. I spoke about this last week on my podcast when the U.S. Navy had sent in the USS Theodore Roosevelt off the coast of Yemen to potentially stop the transfer of cargo ships from Iran to the Houthi rebels. Certainly a powder keg waiting to happen. I hope it doesn't happen, but certainly seems like things are picking up steam. Real quick before I break down Baltimore, new podcast is available today. The link is down below. Also, remember June 6th and 7th, I'll be doing my Global Economic Reset event and Resourceful Real Estate Academy event here in my home in Malibu, California. About 50% of the tickets are left. And lastly, some additional housekeeping. We're giving away 100 bottles of our Superior Man Men's Multivitamin. Links down below. I think it's actually going to cost you $1. If you have Amazon Prime, you'll get it for free. If not, you got to pay like $3 or $4 in shipping. Okay, so once again, I feel like this is like Groundhog's Day. Just not too long ago, we were talking about the riots in Ferguson over the shooting of Michael Brown. Now it's this young kid named, I believe, Freddie Gray, who was arrested by police for having a switchblade knife. Freddie Gray dies by a spinal cord injury about a week of being in police custody. Certainly, if the police haven't come out and really said what's happened. So certainly, the police, a minority of police are thuggish, and that will happen in any organization that's a large organization. You're going to have people in it that are bad characters, and that's what we've seen happen with the killing of this guy in New York that was put in a chokehold and killed by this guy who stole a horse in California, and you had about 10 police officers beating the crap out of him. So it happens. There's no question about it. The question is, though, why does it lead to rioting in the streets and burning down your own community, looting your own community? Because certainly the Crips and the Bloods and the Black Guerrilla family and the Nation of Islam that are joining with these protesters in looting, in burning buildings down, do you really think they give a crap about Freddie Gray or about what happened to their community? In fact, there's a lot of good news reporting that's come out saying that a lot of the protesters are actually coming from other areas to come and to riot. Now, it's certainly a tragedy because I think a majority of people in these communities, they don't want to see their neighborhoods burned down. It's always the minority that do this kind of stuff. But it continues to happen. And in my podcast today, I was talking about how I believe, and again, I have no proof of this. I almost don't even like to say it because it's conspiratorial. I get it. That social engineering, the social engineers that have set up the welfare state, that have created this vicious cycle of poverty in black communities. Back in the 60s, there was thriving black businesses, black families where there was a dad in the family. And you look today where you have 80% plus of black kids born out of wedlock, 80% plus of violent crime committed by young black males. It's not that it has anything to do with race. It has to do with the conditioning by the social engineers to create this perpetual cycle of poverty, or this new electronic plantation, if you will, run by JP Morgan Chase and the EBT cards, to create this disenfranchisement. And they're trying to do it now with Hispanics as well, because it creates, like Lyndon Johnson said, he said, we're gonna make sure that the N-words vote for us for the next 100 years. And that's what's happened. And there's very little truth being told here. And all the pundits on TV are basically saying, not all of them, but a majority of them are saying, well, this is happening because of the police violence and these people have no opportunity. The truth is, when I hear no opportunity, we live in a country that is flawed and has a lot of issues, but it's one of the few countries out there that if you're born into poverty, you could actually come up and maybe not become wealthy where you're sporting a new Rolls-Royce RAV, but you're in middle class or you're doing pretty well. I look at my father who came here when he was 9 years old. He didn't speak the language. He had to steal at some point in his life to eat, and he has a 10th grade education. He started a business, worked 16-hour days, was able to retire in his early 50s comfortably and have a nice lifestyle for him and my mom. And that story, ladies and gentlemen, can be told. I mean, I'm so sure so many of you watching this have someone or know someone or it's a family member that has the same exact story. And people born in this country that speak the language instead go to burning down the CVS or burning down the freaking brand new community center or brand new senior center that likely their grandmothers go and play bingo at. I mean, it's absolute insanity. And I'll tell you what, we are a nation of law and order. And again, do police do bad things? Of course they are. But I don't know about you, I want the police because the police allow us to live in a society of law and order. And to me, the social engineers, led by the Sharptons, by the Jesse Jacksons, by the Barack Obamas, are creating an environment where the police are the problem. Because I think, look, you have the bottom rise up. And this is something that Van Jones, who is the radical communist that was the green job czar working for the Obama administration, has talked about routinely, where he talks about, look, we need to have the bottom rise up. And if the bottom rises up, then people panic. And when I mean the bottom, I mean those that want complete chaos. They rise up, and then what happens? Well, then what happens is big government needs to come in and say, well, we got to keep everybody safe, and that means we got to track and spy you and monitor you. Just look at what happened after 9/11, and imagine riots in Baltimore spreading into dozens upon dozens of major cities throughout the United States. I can almost guarantee you'd have people willing to allow government to do anything to make things, to keep things safe. So I'd love to hear your feedback on these Baltimore riots. It seems they really pretty much mirror what happened in Ferguson. Freddie Gray's family has come out and said they're appalled by the violence. They want it to stop. But when you have thugs being cheerleaded by the race peddlers that have created a big business, quite frankly, the Sharptons, Jesse Jacksons, as I said, pitching race division and the fact and telling people that you can never make it without big government is a very big business, and it's also a way of really being able to have a lot of power as well. So again, I'd love to hear your feedback on this. I'm Fabian Calvo, Fabian for Liberty. Remember, new podcast today. I talk in length about the situation taking place off the coast of Yemen with this ship that was taken by Iran in Iranian waters. It is like I said, a powder keg ready to explode. I hope I'm wrong about that. FabianForLiberty.com is the website, or FabianCalvo.me to get your tickets for the Malibu Mastermind event, or you could always email us too. All that information is down below. Thanks for watching. I'm out.